Hey y'all, join me as I show you how to make these fluffy and delicious sour cream biscuits. To begin, you will want a good quality flour. I like to use White Lily flour, and we're going to use White Lily self-rising flour. And the amount I'm going to use is 1 cup. To the flour, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of butter. Now the butter I'm using is actually made with yogurt, and that cuts down on the calories. So this brand only has 45 calories per tablespoon. So that's a win-win in my book. Now no matter what butter you use, make sure it is room temperature before you add it to your flour. Now I'm going to take a blending fork and I'm going to blend the butter and the flour together. And I'm going to make sure that the butter really incorporates into the flour. Y'all, if you don't have a blending fork, this is a must. It does an awesome job when it comes to making biscuits or bread dough. It just helps incorporate everything very nicely. Once your butter and flour have come together, you're going to want to use 8 ounces of sour cream. And again, to keep this on the lower calorie side, I'm going to use light sour cream. All right, so once the sour cream has been added, you want to give everything a good stir. Now you're going to notice that as you stir it, your dough is going to be wet and sticky, and this might be due to the fact that I'm using lower fat butter and sour cream. So if you use fuller fat versions, you may get a different texture, different consistency. All right, so you may have noticed that the cutting board is no longer underneath the bowl. There's a reason for that, so stay tuned for the bloopers at the end and you will see exactly what happened. All right, so because this dough is super sticky, what I'm going to do is leave it in the bowl and I'm just going to continue to add self-rising flour until I get a consistency that is no longer super sticky. Now this dough will be sticky just because of the ingredients that we're using, but I want it to get to the point where it's not going to stick all over my hands and it's not going to stick to the cutting board or whatever surface I'm using. So y'all, just to let you know, it took several shakes of flour to get it to the consistency that I was looking for. So you just keep working with it, keep working at it until it becomes exactly how you want it. Now my dough is ready to be moved back to the cutting board. Again, stay for the bloopers at the end so you can see what happened. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Oh, Lord, help. Hey, Jimmy, you wanna come look at it now?
Yeah.
This looks more like biscuit dough, not some hot mess.
Oh yeah, it looks a lot better. Actually, like biscuits now.
Oh yeah, it's not sticky.
Needed like 3 cups of flour.
All right, y'all, so now that my dough is much easier to work with, I'm going to fold it over several times. This is going to give you some layers. Now that I'm done folding my dough, I'm going to flatten it out to about 1/2 inch or so. Now, before I begin cutting out my biscuits, I'm going to grab a small pan and I'm going to grease half the pan with shortening. This recipe does not make a ton of biscuits, so that's why I'm not greasing the whole pan, but I'm gonna grease the sides and the bottom because we want to, when we cut out the biscuits, we're gonna wanna push them close together and close to the sides of the pan, and we don't want anything to stick. And having your biscuits close together will cause them to rise because they have nowhere else to go but up. Now I'm going to take a 2 1/4 inch biscuit cutter and I'm gonna dab it in some flour, and then I'm just gonna cut out some biscuits. Now my last biscuit is not big enough to use the biscuit cutter, so I'm just going to roll it up into a ball and then I'm going to flatten it out with my hand. So you're gonna get a total of 9 biscuits with this recipe. All right, these biscuits are gonna go into a preheated 450-degree oven for 15 minutes. The biscuits just came out of the oven. They look perfect, they smell amazing. And so before I dig into one of these biscuits, I'm going to take some of that same butter that I used earlier in the recipe, and I'm going to use a basting brush to brush some butter on top of each biscuit. All right, now that these have cooled off a bit, I'm gonna open one of them for you just so you can see how delicious they look on the inside, just how perfectly moist and fluffy they are as well. My husband Jimmy and I are about to enjoy these delicious biscuits with some homemade sausage gravy. If you want to see how I made the sausage gravy, check out my video on cowboy fries, because I also like to eat this gravy on top of fries as well. So I'm gonna go and enjoy my breakfast while y'all enjoy the blooper. Thanks, y'all. See ya. Hey, Jimmy, can you help me add more dough? I mean, flour. Oh my gosh, this is super sticky. Right here. Over here. Okay.
Good.
Okay, good. A lot. Okay, thanks. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I can't fold it.
You need a lot more flour, don't you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, restart the camera.